to the cloud. Yeah, this is going to be one that when it gets uploaded, you're probably going to want to watch over again. Okay, you're probably going to want to pay attention to and go through it a couple times because it can be a little confusing. But before I start, real quick, I got to say hi to everybody. Ali, Alicia, Matt, Sasha, I think that's how I say it. Sasha, got that thing over there, so I'm thinking of Sasha. Logan, Stan, Jalen, Jared, Winnette, Owner iPhone. Y'all got to put y'all names on here, man. Owner's iPhone. I know it's Danielle. Sharon, Dante, Nakia, Lonnie, Lakendra, Mike, D. I'm going to leave it at that. I wish I messed it up. Lee Band, my man. Lee Band, we got to get that up tomorrow. Make sure you're in the spot, bro. Barnabas, Ramona, you trying to hide from us today. Maxine, what's up? And 678, the infamous phone number people. The infamous phone number people. I mean, I think some of y'all phone number people, I think y'all want it or something like that. I got a warrant out. Y'all don't be showing y'all face. I don't feel you. I don't leave no evidence. Cool. All right. Man, it's been a week. It's been a week. This is why we work. This is why we're striving for this profession, right? I was trying to get some work done on this property, and it went from like a $500 job to a $2,000 job. So like, all right, cool, make it happen. Let's make it work. Then I come back from where was I? Dominican Republic. I turned my air conditioner off when I left. When I came back, guess what? Air conditioner doesn't work. So I had to have someone come out here, take a look at it. Take a couple of days because it's hot here in Georgia, and they've been backed up. So someone got out here today. He says he's going to take a look at it. Then my mom calls me. Mom says, hey, I need $5,000 for my bathroom project. So that's mom. So mom gets it. And then they hit me with a $5,800 air conditioning bill. So I'm hot in a lot of different ways. I'm kind of hot right now. It's like $11,000 plus gone just today. But been a blessing, and it's what we talk about, like practicing through the failure, practicing through the storm, right? Just trying to find the silver lining of this thing. So best believe when they install this air conditioning unit, I'm gonna get a whole education for $5,800. I'm gonna get a whole education on this. I'm gonna figure a way to make this thing worth my time and my money. Exactly, Ramona. That's thankfully for sure that I have the ability to do it. But that's my point, right? That's my point. This is why we always have to do more than what we think we're doing, right? Because this stuff happens, man. Stuff happens, and then life happens, and next thing you know, if you got it. Someone told me that it's not 100% correct, but it's in life, it's pretty much correct. What is it? What did they say? The problem that you have is only as big as your bank account or what you can afford. It's something to that effect, right? With the exception of health and spirituality, that's pretty much correct, right? And even with sometimes to the degree with health. So God has blessed me in ability so I can able to do it. I just still don't like it. I still don't like having to spend it. All right, but we're going to get into something, man, today. It's just weird how things work. So, 2 coaching calls ago, we had Rashona on, and she was talking about using private money. And then today, I got hit up. I don't think he's on the call. Jason is one. Jason's Kelly is literally like one of my first students. Jason was talking about a commercial deal, And then throughout that conversation, he's selling that commercial deal. I think he got under contract for 800,000. It's in Jersey. He got under contract for 800,000, and he's selling it to a buyer who already agreed to buy it at 850. So he's gonna make a cool little 50. But he said he also showed him another project that the guy didn't want because of the tenants. And so he started talking about the numbers, and I was like, oh, well, let me do some little bit of research to see if this makes sense. So this is a real property that I'm considering right now in Plainfield, New Jersey, buying. And so I started doing the math on it, and I was like, you know what, this would be a perfect thing, because I'm taking what Rashana was talking about using private money to try to get into this deal without using any of my money, right? Just using leverage and my knowledge. So this is gonna be a perfect idea, a perfect time to show you guys this. But I want to tell you, it looks like most of you aren't, or some of you, I can't see your faces. If you're driving, you're probably not gonna get this, right? Because there's a lot of math. We'll be going back and forth. I'm gonna pull it up on the whiteboard. Hopefully you guys can follow me. If I were you right now, if you're not, I would get a pen and paper and kind of follow along, so you could really see that this is the deeper side. Like this is not like, you don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be a Ramona and be a scientist. But you do have to, you're gonna have to pay attention to make sure that you're not messing up here. Because when you present this to a private investor who is going to loan you the money and not invest the money, right? Like Rashana talked about, when you present it to them, you need to come correct, and you need to make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, okay? So like I said, make sure you got a pen and paper. And what's going on, Carla? Make sure you got a pen and paper, and let's get into this thing. All right. And my son is here somewhere, so he will probably make an appearance and interrupt us at some point. Don't mind him. Okay, let's get into this. All right, so I'm gonna put over here, everybody can see my little whiteboard, right? Logan, right now, because of the way it is, you're the only person I can see. You can see my whiteboard, right? Perfect. So I'm gonna write these two numbers down. 565,000. That's dollars. And 50,000. So those are the two numbers. I want you to understand this. These are the two numbers that were given to me. Okay? These are the two numbers that are given to me. You're going to see from these two numbers, a whole bunch of math is going to happen, right? And at the end, we're going to figure out whether or not we should do this deal together or not. Okay? I already kind of know the answer because I already did the math, but hint, hint, I'm not. But we're going to see how I came to that conclusion, okay? And you guys can choose whether or not you would come to the same conclusion. All right, so 565 is the contract price that he wants to sell this property to me for. $565,000. He has it under contract, I don't know, probably 540, 530. And he's going to try to sell this contract to me to $565,000, right? And so that's what I would be purchasing at. So that's my contract price, mine, because in this particular case, I'm not the wholesaler, I'm the buyer, okay? So this is my contract price, okay? I'm going to just see with a circle around it, okay? This right here, this 50,000 is what he's told me. I haven't verified this because I'm in Georgia and he's in Jersey. He told me that this is the repair cost. He says the only thing it needs is a roof that would cost about $15,000. Here's your iPad. You're welcome. A roof that would be about $15,000, and the rest will be remodeling the units. Okay, so that brings us to the units. The units are how many of them are? Seven units. Okay, so if you're doing this, talk about multifamily, right? You're going to need to know all this information, how many units are, but then you also need to know the breakdown of the units. So underneath these 7 units, there are 3 studios, okay? I hate having to write on this thing, but when you guys go back and look at this, it'll be worth it. 3 studios, and the 3 studios are not, okay, so let me be clear. Right now, they're not renting at this number, but from what he's told me, he said they should be renting at $820 a month, okay? So $820 a month, all right? And you guys can follow along and write this stuff down. You'll probably be able to write a lot faster than me because it's kind of hard to write on this computer. Then there's also 4 units that are 4-bedroom, really, I think he said one of them is a 4-2, the rest of them are 4-1s. So I'm gonna just put down 4-4-1s because the 4-2 is probably, they probably did a messed up job anyway, so I'm probably gonna have to redo that bathroom anyway. So there's 4 4-1 units. You guys understand that, right? And those 4, each one of those units should rent out for $1,700 a piece. 4-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 1-bath house in Plainfield, New Jersey, in this particular area, should rent out for $1,700 per month. Okay? So this is all important information we need to know when we're talking about rentals, right? We need to know how many units are there, what type of units they are, how much is each unit renting for, how much both units or all the units are renting for, what is the current rent, and what is the projected rents. If we do this, if we spend $50,000 on this thing, where should we be able to take the rents to? Okay. All right. So we got this stuff down here for a projection right now. As of right now, he said that the owner is making $5,000 a month on this property. Oh man, you know what? I am so sorry. I forgot to send everybody else the coaching call. I was looking, I was like, man, we don't got too many people on here. Hold on. My bad. They're gonna curse me out. It's all right. That's all right. Give me 2 seconds. I'm so sorry about this. Okay. Add invitees, copy the clipboard. There we go. They're gonna mess up about 15 minutes of it, but all right. Okay, so we have what the rent should be at. We'll get to this part later. This is gonna come and play at the end, okay? All right, so we got $565 plus $550, a total of $615,000. So here's what hard money is gonna do. Hard money is gonna say we need 10% of the contract price, which is the purchase price. So 10% of $565,000. Let me do hard money. I'm just gonna do HM. So remember that HM is hard money, okay? So HM, they're gonna want 10% of this hard money, which is $56,500, right? So they're gonna want $56,500 as a down payment of the actual purchase of the property, and they're going to want 10% of the repair cost, which is $5,000. Okay, so they got this $61,500 is what my is the cost of purchasing it and repairing it is what I would need to come up. So if I don't get private money, I'm going to need to raise this up. But there's more, okay? Because there's a cost in closing, we call that closing cost, okay? So closing costs, roughly 3% of this 565, I already did the math, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. $16,950, okay? So this is my closing costs. CC, remember that? $16,950. So if I'm trying to use other people's money, I need to have all of these figures, okay? I need to have this, plus my closing cost. Once I have all of this, okay? Once I have all of this, then and only then can I actually close on the property and start doing work on it so we can move forward. So I can't get to that point unless I get that, all right? Now, there's also something with hard money called points, okay? And the points, you have to be careful with this, okay? You got to pay attention when you're doing this because it's really, really easy for you to mess this up. The points are based off of how much you are borrowing, okay? So the points are based off of the 565,000 and the 50,000 because 56,500 and 5,000 out of this is coming out of this. So $61,500 is coming out of the total of this. So what typically happens is they'll do points on the purchase side and points on the repair side on what they loan you. So it'll be points on, so it's normally it's like 3 points. My hard money will do 3 points, 16%. They might go down 14% depending on if they're in a good mood or not. But we're gonna go with the higher end, 3 points and 16%. So if you guys don't know what a point is, for every 1 point, that's 1% of whatever you're borrowing, okay? So if you have 2 points, that's 2%. 3 points is 3%. They just say points instead of saying percentage. Don't let it confuse you. A point is a percentage, okay? So what we got to do now is we have to take that 565 and we have to subtract 56,500, which leaves us with $508. I'm sorry, $508. 508,000. It's been a long, hot day. 508,500, okay? So that's what we're basing our 3% off. So we're going to times 0.03, and that's going to give us $15,255. Okay? So that's just the 3 points off of the purchase. Remember, 565 is the total contract price. That's including the wholesaler's fee. That's including paying the mortgage off or whatever's on it and giving the seller their money. But I'm having my private money person give me this money. So 56,500 is coming out of this, which means my points are based off of what I actually borrow from the hard money lender. Okay? So I'm actually borrowing for the purchase price $508,500 from my hard money. But then I'm also need my 3 points for my 50,000. But remember, I took 5,000 out of that, so it's really 45,000. So 45,000. I'm just going to do 45K on this one times 0.03 equals 1,350. Now, you can do one or two things here, and it's not always up to you. Sometimes it's up to the hard money lender. You can do one of two things. You can take all of this, right? All your points. Some hard money lenders will let you do this. They will take all your points and roll it into the back end of the mortgage. All right, roll it into the back end of the loan. Okay, so this is like whatever this comes out to be, $1,700, whatever it is, something. I mean, 16,000 something, $600, whatever it is, right? They'll take all of this and they'll run that 16,000+ back into the back end of the mortgage. What you have to understand, you are not paying 3%, 4% on this money. You're paying 16% on this money. It could be a big difference, okay? So what I would do is I would try to pay these up front. So if I'm doing this on my own, then that comes out of my pocket. But the way that I'm trying to do it with using private money. We haven't gotten to the private money portion of it, but we're starting to total up what we need to do over here, okay? So if we total this up, 15,000, I wrote it down so I didn't have to keep doing them out. So 56,500 plus 5,000 is 61,500, right? Let me put that here. 61,500, okay? Plus we got closing costs, which is right here, right? Plus $16,950. Plus we're gonna have the 3 points based off of this and the 3 points based off of this, the 3 points off of the purchase and 3 points off the repair. So again, 15,255 plus 1350. That totals a grand total of $95,005 or $55. 95,000. You guys all see how I got this, right? You guys see how I got this, okay? Actually, let me just stop sharing for a quick second because I can see your faces and I can't see the chat. Everybody see how I got it, right? We're on point where everybody's tracking, not moving too fast. Perfect, perfect. Yep. All right. So this right here, this is what I need to get from my private money lender if I want to do this deal without using any of my money, okay? I need to get them to give me $95,055 for this particular property to get into this property at 3 points and 16% interest, okay, with these numbers. So this is what they need to be able to put up, and I'm going to give them for them putting this up, I'm giving them a 10% return, and 10% is on the annual, okay? So let's figure out what that looks like, okay? Let's figure out what that looks like. So, and we're also gonna need to figure out what this hard money right here looks like as well. So we'll do both of them. Let's start with the hard money. Let's start with the hard money, okay? So this is how it's broken down, but at the end of the day, it's still $508,500 plus $45,000, all right? So on the, let's just do it here because I'm gonna just do the math here. 508,000, so my notes look horrible. It's taking me harder to find the numbers. $508,500 plus $45,000, okay? That's what I'm paying interest on, $553,500, okay? 553,500. So it's just gonna be a lot of math, okay? So that's what we're paying 16%. So we need to take this and times it times 0.16. So times 0.16 equals $88,560. Okay, now this is what? All interest rate is based off of what? The annual, all right? It's based off of a per annual basis, which means in order for me to find out how much I'm paying on a monthly basis, I just have to divide this by 12, right? So we're gonna divide this by 12, 1, 2, equals $7,380 a month. That would be like your mortgage payment. That's a lot, but it is 16% interest, okay? Sorry for the handwriting, it's 7,000, right? $7,380 per month. Okay, now we need to do the same thing for this, okay? So we got to take that $95,055 times 10%, and that's 9,505. Divide that by 12. That's $792.12, really 13 cents a month. So per annual, that'd be 9,505 times 0.1. I'm sorry, I'm tripping, my bad. Divided by 12, and they gave you whatever I just said, $735, $792. Okay, why this is important is because I don't think that it's going to take 12 months to do a roof. The roof is only going to take maybe a week. And to do the rest of the repairs, if we're talking about 7 units, painting, maybe some flooring, and fixing up the bathrooms, it shouldn't take, for 7 units, 3 of them being studios, 4 of them being 4 bedrooms, it shouldn't take more than 8 weeks to do all that, okay? So we're talking about an 8-week project. So I want to know if I can get it done that quickly, if the stars align, how much could I pay on the low end? I'm still going to be practical. I'm still going to do side on the air of caution, right? I'm going to still do it for the whole year, but I really want to know these numbers here as well. And that's how you find out this interest rate on these straight interest rate, okay? So good stuff to know. We need to know that we could, if we hold this thing for a whole year, we could have it for $88,000. We could be in it for $88,560 in interest, plus an additional $9,505 in interest that we'd have to pay back our private money person. Okay. Hold up. I see a couple of things in the chat. I see my chat going crazy here. Let's see.
Tell me all in. How much is that?
Well, I have to do the math. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I guess I didn't put math there. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Hold up. Just all right. Yeah. So I'm lost. I'm going to have to rewatch it. Okay. Need to know how you got the 45K miss. Okay. So Josh, you got the 45K because when hard money lenders, a lot of them will make you pay 10% of the purchase price and then 10% of the repair price. The purchase price was $56,500. So they're going to say, hey, you got to spend $565,500. So 10% of that is $56,500, and the repair costs were $40,000 or $50,000. So 10% of $50,000 is $5,000. So if you subtract 5 from $50,000, it gives you $45,000. Okay. Cool. All right. So somebody said they're lost again. All right. We'll try to answer some questions on the back. I'm gonna leave this up. Okay. I told you this one is going to have to pull in all the knowledge that you're using for wholesaling and then some. Okay. All right. So this is where we're at. So this is what we would be responsible to the hard money lender. This is what we would be responsible for to the private money lender. Okay. So let's total everything up that we'd have to be responsible for. And this is why I like to do it like this, because it makes it really streamlined. Everything that we had to do to get into the property, the private money lender put up, so that's already totaled up, including closing costs, everything. Everything that it costs to actually purchase the property and repair it is underneath the hard money lender, and it's all totaled up down here. So it makes it really simple. So really, I just got to add this number plus the $88,560 if I kept it for a full year. If I kept it for a full year. If I kept it for a full year, I'd pay this amount in interest. So you have to, I'm gonna do all my figures as if it's just a nightmare project and I can't get refinanced for a full year, okay? So if I kept it for a full year, this is what I have to do. So let's total that up right now. That comes up to $553, 500 plus, so that's this number right here, plus if I kept it for a full year, 88,560. So this right here, if I kept it for a full year, these two numbers, right here, will come to, man, I'm running out of space. Oh, there we go. That's beautiful right there. All right, so it will come to 642,060. Let me try to erase a little bit of this right here. That looks horrible. So $642,060. Okay, that's what this hard money lender would make. He lent me a total of $553,500. And he's going to make, for lending me that money, if I kept it for a full year, $642,060. So about $9,000, $11,000 short or so of $100,000, okay? So that's just hard money. That's just HM, okay? Private money, I'm gonna have to pay them back $95,055 plus their interest. Again, this right here is only if we kept it for 12 months. If we got the project done and refinanced in 9 months, we'd have to take these two numbers and we'd have to times them times 9. Is everybody following me on that? Right? Because we didn't keep it for the whole year. So but if we're keeping it for the whole year, we pay them a total of 10% of that. So plus 9505. Okay. So what I would owe the private money lender here will be, will be 104,560. Okay. Combined, we're talking about $642,060 plus that 104,560. Combine these two numbers here and here are going to come out to $746,620. All right. So money's expensive, right? It's all this is what I would have to pay if I kept it for a full year. All this is what I would have to pay if I kept it for a full year. So if I kept it for a full year, I'd have to pay them all their money back plus 10%, and I have to pay them all their money back plus 16%. Okay? So at $746,620 for this total investment, I can get into this thing, okay? I can get into this thing, but now I need to do like we talked about 2 weeks ago, and we need to refinance this thing, right? So this goes back to a couple different things. Why is this in the way? Here we go. This goes back to a couple different things. We need to find out how much up here, remember we talked about this in the beginning, how much is this thing going to bring me? All right, so that's easy math. That's not complicated. That's 820 times for 3 units, because there's 3 studio units. That's $2,460. So I'm just gonna put 2,460. And that's for this right here. And then for my 4 unit that should be going for $1,700, that's $6,800. Okay. So plus 2,400, 6,800 plus 2,400, if we're at 100% occupancy, should give me 9,200 a month. Okay. So that's at full occupancy, but we never go off of full occupancy. That's why we take out a certain percentage of what we're making, okay? And we do that, normally we do, well, once I have the real numbers, then I'll be able to get the exact numbers. But at something like this, I'm going to go ahead and just say, I'm going to subtract 35%, okay? 35%. So that 35%, some of you guys are new, so you haven't gotten to that part yet. 35%, 10% of that 35% is going to be property maintenance, because I live in Georgia and I'm not going up there to collect rent. I'm sorry, property management. The other 10% is going to be property maintenance, okay? So that's a total of 10, that's 20. The other 10% is going to be capital expenditures, and the other 5% is going to be vacancies, okay? So 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 equals 35%. So we're going to take this math, we're going to take 9,200, and we're going to subtract 35%, which is 3,220, which leaves me with $5,980 per month. Okay. Now, that does not include debt services. What are debt services? That's your mortgage. Okay. So we have to figure out the mortgage. Okay. Now, I've already pulled a couple numbers, so I kind of have an idea what a mortgage like this is going to look like. Okay. But if you don't want to go through all that, if you ever look at someone's mortgage, look at a mortgage, right? Most of the time, if you keep it for 30 years, you end up paying twice. Has anybody seen that? Have you ever done that before? They amortized, right? You end up paying 2 times as much as what your mortgage is. So if you just want to get, like I was doing this math in the car, I was just trying to, while he was on the phone, trying to figure out whether or not this is going to be a good deal for me or not. So all I did is I divided this by 360 months, which that's a 30-year mortgage, okay? And then I did times that times 2.2, okay? So it's a little bit more than double to give me a general idea of what my mortgage would look like. So let's do that real quick. So 746,620 divided by 360 months, that'd be $2,073.94 times 2.2. It's about $4,500 a month, $4,562 to be exact. So we're just gonna call it 4,000 because this is an approximate. We're gonna call it $4,500 a month. Is what we're probably gonna be looking at. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me stop real quick because I'm seeing a lot of chat stuff. Okay, where? Why do you pay 16% and 3%? So Matt, why do you pay 16% and 3%? Because we're using hard money. If we're using hard money to do this, right? We're using hard money because good deals, if they're a good deal, they go quick, right? I don't have 45, 50 days. I'm sorry, on a project like this, it'd probably take a bank a lot longer than that. I don't have 60, 75, 90 days to get this thing done, right? So if we're going to use hard money is going to charge, the reason why it's hard money, it's expensive, okay? So I took 16 and 3 because I know anywhere across the country you can find a hard money lender anywhere. We got people that are all over the country here that are on this call. Anywhere you can find a hard money lender that will give you 3 points at 16%. Okay, hopefully I answered your question. Do we need to know what the property is currently renting at? You do for immediate cash flow. Like I want that number, which was 5,000 from what you told me. I want to know that because that's going to help offset what I'm paying on a monthly basis for my mortgage for the hard money lender. Why 2.2, Matt asked? I just explained. So 2.2, so if you do, let me just do it right here on the calculator. So 30 years, all right? So 30 years, there's 12 months in a year, right? Times 30 years is 360 months, okay? So if you were to pay no interest, if you're just gonna pay 0 interest on a home, and if, like I said, if you ever bought a home or if you know somebody, just take a look at their mortgage, and then take what they pay a month and times it, if they have a 30-year mortgage, times it times 360, and you're gonna see, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's bought a house, you know this, right? If you pay it over 30 years, you pay a little bit more a lot of times than double what the original house was. Does that make sense? So I'm erring on the side of caution, okay? And I'm not going to say times 2. I'm going to go by 2.2. Now I could go and get an amortized table and figure it out exactly with an interest rate, but I'm trying to do this. Literally, I was doing this while I was waiting to pick up my son Zion at the bus. Okay, so I'm just kind of doing it really quick, and I'm just giving you like a little hack to figure it out. Does that make sense? All right, cool. All right, let me go back here. Share. Hold up, make the wrong thing. It scared me for a second there. I was like, oh man, I gotta write all that over again. All right, so we're back here. All right, so this $746,000 loan, okay, from a bank would cost me about $4,500 a month. All right, so why we need to know that? Because we need to know whether or not our money we're projected to make after we subtract our 3,500, is that going to cover my mortgage? Is that going to cover everything? So we can see here it does by about $1,480, right? It looks like after I collect my rent and take out my vacancies, take out my property management, maintenance, and capital expenditures, excuse me, I should have $5,980 if I'm completely rented out, okay? That should cover that $4,500, okay? So that means I'm cash flowing at $1,480 bucks. Got me? Okay? But why is a bank going to give me this? And here is my problem with this particular property. I don't think the property is going to appraise for the number that I need it to appraise for in order for a bank to give me this loan. At the bare minimum, they're going to want a 20%. Most banks are going to want 30%. You might be able to find a bank that'll give you 20% LTV. What does that mean? Is that if they're going to give me $746,620, most banks will want 30% equity left in the property. Just in case I default, they know that they can get their money back. So how do we figure that out? So it's just the exact opposite of what we do if we were looking at our 0.7, right? So just do the opposite. So if we're as wholesalers, right, if someone says, hey, we need to find out if this is a good deal, you're going to do $746,620 times 0.7. But if I want to go the opposite direction, I need to divide by 0.7. 0.7. So once you put that in there, this is the number you get. $1,066,600. So again, how did I get this number? I did 746. I want to see if it's going to appraise. It needs to appraise. I know I can get a bank to do it at 30%, which means they're 70. The language for that would be a 70% LTV. That would be a 70% LTV. That means out of the 100% that it's worth, we'll give you 70% of that, leaving 30% buffer in case I default and I hit the road and I don't pay them their mortgage. The property is worth 30% more than what they loaned out to me. Is everybody tracking on that, right? I want to really make sure that you understand that, okay? So
Tommy, you're dropping some real knowledge right now, man. This is dope.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So at this point, in order for me to find out that number, I need to do the opposite, because normally when we're wholesaling, we're trying to take out 30%. In this particular case, we're trying to add in 30%. So if you guys don't know this with math, right, multiplication, division, if you want the opposite, you just do the opposite. That's kind of a stupid thing to say, but you guys know what I mean, all right? It's hot, right? We were doing 70. If we were trying to take out 30%, you're going to times 0.7. If you're trying to add in 30%, you're going to divide by 0.7. So 746,000 divided by 0.7, decimal 0.7 equals whatever I just said. I said $1,066. I'm 66,000. Jeez, man. $600. This is my problem right here. This is my problem. I do not think that it's going to appraise this and kind of the rent. All right, I don't think it's going to appraise at this number. I don't think a 7-unit apartment complex is going to appraise at this number, okay? And it's really not a good cap rate, okay, if we want to add that into it. All right, so what we're looking at here, we're looking at cap rate, what we're actually borrowing from the bank. Remember, at this point right here, let me just make sure you really, really understand where we're at this point. The reason why we're doing this, the reason why we're doing all of this math, right, is because I know at 30%, I can't even get a loan for $746,620 unless it appraises at this number. But this is not the number right here. This number right here is not the number that I'm borrowing. This is the number that I'm borrowing, okay? So this could be real confusing if you're not really, really solid on what I'm talking about here. This is the number that I'm borrowing, okay? So what this number represents is now I've paid off my hard money lender. I've paid off my private money lender. Everybody loves me because they just made a whole bunch of money off of me, but I just got into this apartment complex with none of my money and it's cash flowing, okay? But is it cash flowing well? So how do we determine cash flow? It's this right here, which is our NOI, net operating income. Net operating income, because we took our gross operating income, which was all the total monthly rent, and if they have anything else, which I don't think they do, comes to $9,200 a month, all right? Minus my 35%, and I need to do this on a per annual basis. So times 12 months, this thing is always in the way. Times 12 months, $5,980 times 12 months equals $71,760, okay? But $71,760, I'm borrowing $746,620. So what I need to do is I need to take that $71,760 and divide by $746,620, which is the number down here, okay, that I'm borrowing from the bank, okay? And it gives me, I'll just write it down. Once I do that, it's going to give me a 9. It's actually going to be 0. Sorry, it's going to be decimal point 0.0961. Keep going. You can keep going if you want, but I don't go any farther than that. And you got to move that decimal place over 1, 2, which means it's going to give me a 9.61% or capitalization rate. This is my cash on cash return. I want to be at 10. So it's close. It's close. I did all of this math. I did all of this to get to this number right here to find out how good of an investment it's going to be and what my risk would be on this particular property. Okay. I did all of this math to find out that I should be able to cash flow about $1,480 bucks. Everybody see where I got that, right? What I got here. This is what I got here, $5,980 after collecting all my rent. If everybody pays me on time and everything's beautiful, and I took out 5% for vacancies in case or when people don't pay, right? $5,980 a month is what I should be able to put in my pocket, except for I got to pay this mortgage of $4,500. So once I take 5,980, which is my NOI on a monthly basis, net operating income, money I can put in my bank account, money I can go spend on a vacation. I also got to pay my mortgage, which will include my PITI of approximately 4,500 bucks. And then, if my math serves me correctly, I think it does, 5,980 minus 4,500, 1,480. Man, it's so hard to write on this thing. If anybody knows what I need to get in order to be able to like write on this thing like with a pen instead of holding 2 fingers, please let a brother know. So this is my cash flow. You ever see Grant Cardone? He talks about cash flow, baby. That's the only thing that matters, cash flow. Cash flow. This is how much I'll be making a month out of all of this, right? But I have hopefully an appreciating asset. This right here, this 4,500 is paying off my mortgage. I'm also going to HELOC this thing eventually, okay? And if you guys have not seen that one, that's a good one I should probably redo. That's one that you really, if you have a mortgage, or you have somebody you know who has a mortgage, you need to see that one. It's already in the course. It's under, it was probably February of this year, on how to use lines of credit to pay a 30-year mortgage. I wouldn't be in this mortgage for 30 years, by the way. I'd probably be in this mortgage for 13, 12, maybe even less. Depends. I really don't need this 1,480. I might just dump that right back into it, right? But you can pay this thing off really quickly. And I'm really not even trying to pay it off. I'm just trying to get it to a low enough point where I can equity strip it again and repeat the process and go buy another property, okay? Just keep leveraging, right? Anyway, so we're doing all of this to figure out these numbers right here. It went from just these two numbers up here, 565,000, 50,000 for the contract price, 50,000 in repairs. So all this math we had to do to get to this point right here. All right. So I'm tired, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk. So I'm open up for some Q&A. So I know some of this is confusing. Let's knock out some Q&A.
I got a question, Tommy.
So I hear somebody, but it's very low. Hold on, let me see if
Tommy, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Okay. Hey, so when you add this onto the site, can you like highlight this with some stars or something? Because I'm gonna need to watch this a good 7 or 8 times before I figure this out.
Yeah, it'll be I don't know what I'll name this thing. Yeah, I'll name it something. I'll say like make sure you got your pens or something, pen and paper or something like that.
Appreciate it, bro. I'll ask some questions on that one next time.
Yeah. Okay. Lecom drawing pad under $100. Okay, Ramona, I appreciate that. I will definitely look at that.
Hey, Tommy Swinette, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How did you get to the 0.3%, which is the total contract price minus the down payment?
Hold on, somebody else is off mute. Yes, do that. Go ahead.
Hold on, I was turning off my fan. It could have been the reason. How did you get to the 0.3%, which is the total contract price minus the repair cost, minus the down payment? Can you go back to the middle of the screen? Yeah. See the middle of the screen where you have that 3% twice, 0.03% equals 15,255.
Oh, right here.
And then just below that, yeah. What does that 0.3% represent?
You're gonna understand that right here. You're gonna understand this right now. So I'm a hard money lender, right? And you want to borrow my money, okay? So there's two ways.
Okay.
There's two ways. Everybody understand this. There's two ways that well, really three. 3 ways that hard money lenders make money. The third one you don't want to happen. You can probably guess what that is. The first 2 ways is off of points, which are represented in, they just say a point, 2 points, 3 points, 5 points, right? So points and then the annual percentage rate. So when you talk to me as a hard money lender, and if you're doing this for a flipper, you have to understand the language and what's involved in it, right? So really simple are the points is how they get paid up front. So that's this. So in this particular example, it's 3 points and 16% APR, annual percentage rate. So the 3 points come up front and they're based off of what I am borrowing from the hard money lender. Okay. Now a point, 1 point is 1%. 2 points is 2%. 3 points are 3%. So because this particular hard money lender wants to charge me 3 points, that makes 3%.
3%, gotcha.
Points. They'll say it like that sometimes, right? So in order, we know that in math, we got to do it in a decimal point in order to understand, get that number, right? So,
right.
I'm quite sure now you can figure it out. Now that it was just a vocabulary thing, really, what it came down to. It wasn't a math thing. It was just you just didn't know. So now you know that, and the way they do it is they do the points and the APR are all based off of the purchase and then the repairs. So sometimes they'll all put them all together, but they'll normally do the down payment and the points off of the purchase, which is off of, remember we had to take out this 56,500 because that's the 10% we'll bring it to the table. So what we're borrowing from the hard money lender is this number right here. Yeah, that's ugly. You get the point. We're borrowing $508,500. So we got to do for the purchase of the property. So we got to do 3% of that, which is $15,255. And then we're also borrowing $45,000 for the repairs because the other $5,000, because we said the repairs were $50,000, the other $5,000 is coming from my private money lender. My private money lender is my mother who's been working in the Plainfield School District for the last 20 plus years, and she has a 401k or a pension. I forget if she has a pension. And she has, $200,000 sitting in her pension, and she's only getting 6%. So she says, heck yeah, I'll do it if you give me 10% versus my 6%, I'll loan you $95,000. All right. So because she had to come up with $5,000 of this 50, which is 10%, because that's what the hard money lender wants. Make sure you understand that one part we're talking about hard money, one part we're talking about private money, right? There's two different people. Hard money is somebody else, private money is someone else, okay? So what I'm borrowing from the hard money is $45,000 for the repair because I got the other 5 from my mother, who's the private money lender. Does that make sense? So now we're taking that 3% based off
Gotcha.
of 5. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yep.
I'm trying to explain it as best I can, because I know it can be confusing. I want everybody to get it. I know there's probably somebody else that had the same question. So I saw Logan had his hand up. What's up, man? Logan, first of all, before you start, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you because your camera is clear. I don't know what the humidity is like in your house. I don't know if we got to all chip in and get you a dehumidifier or some Windex, but I can find out. I didn't even know you were white, Logan, the whole time. My God. I thought you was light skinned.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's hilarious, bro. Actually, my great grandma was half black, so I'm a little bit, but.
Oh, okay. You're a little bit. That's crazy though, man. I wanted to say something. I was going to DM you like, yo, we need to do something about your camera.
Dude, that's so funny because actually my boy's over here right now and he's like, bro, why is your camera so blurry? And I was like, it's not. And he was like, yeah, it is. Wipe it off. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, well, hey, man, whatever you do in your spare time is on you, family. We ain't going to judge you.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, so I wanted to let you know I closed on a house on Friday. I got some more things coming, but you know how I am. I'm weird, so I'll keep out the news.
Let's everybody give this man a round of applause. Good job, man. You're killing it.
Nice, Logan. Congrats. Nice.
No, man.
Appreciate it.
Let me hold something to pay.
Congratulations, Logan. You're my hero.
Woohoo!
Logan about to come out with his own course.
Yeah, no, but I did have a question, though. I'm in the process of negotiating right now. And so I just figured out today that she has $9,000 in back taxes. And the question I'm asking you is, so can that $9,000 like come out of the check that the title company gives her?
Yeah. So if you use the contract, that we have, it says there, I forgot what line it is. It's towards the bottom that any liens or back taxes comes out of their portion, unless you negotiate it otherwise. So you can negotiate different. Like everything's up for negotiation, but the easiest way to do it is to see if the price works with them knowing that. Because the last thing you want to do is get to the closing table and you said that you were going to buy the house, let's just say for, $15,000, and they're thinking they're getting $15,000 in their hand. And then they say, oh, you owe $9,000 in back taxes. So you're really only getting $4,000, right? I'm asking $6,000. You're only getting $6,000. Then they're pissed off and then they don't want to sign, right? So the best thing to do is to try to work it in to see, because if it works with the back taxes, then, oh shoot, my AC guy, I need him. If it works with the back taxes, then, then you're good with that. Then you can just get them under contract. Give me 1 second, because it's hot in here. We got to make this happen. He said he can come over here on Friday. I mean, I got a whole nother day. All right. Yeah, so that's how I would do that, man.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
Yep. Congrats again, brother.
Thank you, bro.
So Matt said, hold on, let me make sure I go in order because I skip people. Thank you, everybody. Let me about the, how you say that? Wacom. No problem, man. Kind of unrelated to the ST. course, yes, the STR, yes, it's still available for $397. We're going to do a relaunch on that. We're going to kind of do a redo because Zoom really messed me up. We had over 1,500 people that wanted to get on that call, and they limited us to 100, even though we paid to have those people on there. I don't think my air conditioning guy meant to send me that text. I hope not. I love you, beautiful. Just thinking about you. No, you don't. You don't even know me. I don't want your air conditioner now. Oh, he's just sorry, not you. That was for my wife. I hope so. But, got the wrong one.
Wild night, Tommy. Fuzzy screens and your air conditioner man hitting on you. What's going on?
Bruh, hey, I don't know, man. If you cut that price down a little bit, no, I'm just playing. So the only thing that's holding back is this deal, is the appraised value as well as the cap rate not being at 10%. However, if the appraised value was 70, would you take the deal with the 9% cap? If the appraised value was at 70%. If that Matt, are you saying if that appraised value was at that 1 million?
Yeah, if it wasn't that 1 million where you had that 70% LTV, would you take it at that 9% cap rate instead of, if that was the case?
If it's not at that 1 million, you mean if it appraises at more than 1 million?
Yeah, or if it did appraise at that 1 million.
If it appraises at more than I think it came out to $1,066,600. If it appraises more than that, then I probably would. And not to say that it's not that it's not a bad deal. It's just I want a good deal. Like if you're patient enough, you'll find really good deals, right? You'll find deals that now there's other things we could do, right? So let me just show you this because this is, and I got you next, Carla. I see your hand. Let me share it again. Okay, so look, so this is all about being creative, and if you guys take anything away from this, I want you guys to really understand that you can create opportunities by being exposed to these conversations that we're having. You're going to be able to create these opportunities that other investors don't see. So right off the bat, I'm looking at this and like, okay, this doesn't make any mathematical sense here. So what you're telling me is that a studio is going to run out for $820 a month, but a 4-bedroom is going to run out at $1,700. Now, I'm not saying that these numbers are right, but in my head, I'm thinking, how can I make one of these extra units a studio? How can I take this and turn it into a studio, right? How can I take 4, what addition would I need to put onto this property? And to take one of these 4 units and either turn it into a 2-1, right, which then I could rent it out for probably around $1,300. All right. So now instead of having 4 4-1s, I now have 8 2-1s. Now it's going to cost more money to repair it. I mean for the repairs, right? Because I have to separate a wall. But Matt, you know, I mean, because you're from Jersey, so we had a guy on here. I'm trying to get him back. I actually called him. He's just super busy. Don, and you worked out with Don before, so you know. So Don Baker, he owns Baker Capital Group. He's one of my fraternity brothers, so he just bought the projects in Plainfield, New Jersey. It was 106 units or something like that, 110 units, something like that. They were all 2 1s and 4 2s. No, they were all 3 2s and 4 2s. That's what they were. 3 2 and 4 2 townhouses, each unit, right? 106 of them, or whatever they were. He figured out, man, if I turn the 4 2s into 2 1s, that they were going to make it was like an extra $40-something thousand a month, right? It's a big difference, right? So he's able to add value. They're gonna have to spend more money on construction, but at the end of the day, it's a higher revenue generating property, which means a better return on an investment, which means they can refinance for higher, they can strip out the money, go buy a bigger one, or buy the next one. So there's a lot of things that we can do within stuff like this, right? I could turn, let's say I just want to take one of those 4-bedroom, 1-bath homes or town, whatever they are, and turn them into studios. Now I'm going to have to add three more bathrooms, right? I'm going to have to add doors and all those other things. I got to see what the engineer is going to cost to be able to do that. But if it's renting out at $820, I turn a unit that's going for $1,700. Hold up. Trying, people keep texting. Turn a unit that is renting out $1,700, and I rent them out as studios at $820. But because there's 4 of them, I make $3,280, and that's just taking away one of the 4-bedroom, 1-bath home townhomes. Does that make sense? So there's different ways. Now I haven't seen this property. I don't even know if it's structurally available to do that. I might have to add an addition on. So there's different ways that we can add value into it. If this number down here supports it, because I'm going to need that equity to try to strip out of it so I can do the construction process. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's different ways that we can add things to it, but the main thing is that I highly doubt that it's going to, that's really the main thing. I highly doubt that it's going to appraise for, 1 million, almost 1.1 million. I don't think it's going to pan out that way. Carla, did I answer your question, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks. No problem. Carla.
Hi. My question was similar. So, because you pretty much asked what I wanted to ask, but also I want to ask you this. At what point do you do the refi? Because you said the project may take, about 8 weeks? And then is that you do the refi after you've done all the repairs and things of that nature? Is that when you do the refi?
Yeah. So what I did is this. I'm thinking just based on, I haven't seen the pictures. This is all from what he told me.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay.
the roof, and if I'm going to keep it the way it is, I'm not going to add anything else. I should be done in about 8 weeks. Okay, so that's roughly about 2 months. But most banks require a seasoning period. That seasoning period is normally about 6 months. So that's 6 months plus the 2 months of repairs. That's 8 months, right? And that's why I said I probably can get it refied in about 9. But that's why I'm going on the long end. I'm gonna just say, hey, I'm gonna be in this thing for a full year. And if I can do the math at a full year and it still makes sense, then I'm cool with it. Now I could probably negotiate on that 565 down to get me closer to a 10 cap. I'm only like 3.9% away from getting a 0.39% away from getting the 10 cap, right? I think it was 9.61.
Yeah, it was 9.61.
Yeah, so I'm not that far away from it. So I can probably negotiate a little bit to get that down. I might even be able to negotiate a little bit on my APR with the hard money lender to make it work. So there's a lot of different things that can make it work. But the whole point of this exercise is to show you how to do the math, how to look at it from the other end side. So not as a wholesaler, but as eventually where we all want to be at. I hope everybody on here wants to have that mailbox money, because mailbox money is dope. I'm telling you, when someone else is cutting your grass, someone else is answering the phone calls about the toilet being clogged up, someone else is answering the complaints, someone else is going to the eviction court, when they're screening your tenants, when you ain't got to do nothing but spend your money, mailbox money is real dope. So I'm hoping that everybody is one day eventually going to get to this point. And so you're going to want to know how to figure this thing out, right? And maybe it's not this is not really a large scale, honestly, but maybe it's not at something like this. Maybe you just want to learn how to do it for a single family home. If you're going to get into a flip, you still need to know, if you're going to do it with someone else's money, what that looks like. You can't just be like, oh, this is going to be a $100,000 investment, $100,000 house. and a $50,000 flip, all I need to borrow is $15,000, 10% for this. There's a lot more other stuff that has to come out in that, right? The other thing that I didn't even talk about is, let me go back to this here. I'll show you how you can make some money off of this, right? If this thing, where's it at? All right, there it goes. If this thing appraised at this, the other reason why I wanted to appraise at this, or really higher, is I want to make money, right? And I want to put some money away at, some more money away for a rainy day. So let's just say this is how people buy a house and get cash back at the closing table. You guys ever heard that? Like, man, I bought this house and I bought it and I actually got paid for buying it, right? I got money back for buying it, right? So what happens, the only thing that happens is that instead of this thing, let's just say these are the exact numbers. And the only thing that happens is that instead of it being appraised at a $1,066,600, it's appraised at 1.1 million. Okay? So it appraises at 1.1 million. That's actually a zero, believe it or not. That's a horrible zero. But you guys get the point, right? 1.1 million. And what's the difference between that? That's what, 34,000. So if it appraises at 1.1 million instead of 1,066,600, right? I can get that difference because the bank is going to loan me 30%. It's going to be 30% of the loan to value. You see what I'm saying? So now that it appraised for more, if it appraised for more, I can get a higher amount, which means I can still pay off this. This number doesn't change, right? Because these two numbers come together equal this number. This number doesn't change. Everybody's paid off, and I still have some room there, so I can actually walk away with a $34,000, really $35,400 paycheck from the closing table, from buying a property that's going to cash flow. This is why it's so important to learn how to wholesale, right? People that skip wholesaling and they just try to go right into fixing and flipping, they're never going to get the best price, right? Like I know if I get this property, he's trying to sell it to me at 565. He's probably got under contract for 545, 540, maybe 535, right? So that's one of the biggest things that affects your return on investment is your purchase price. Like it's one of the biggest factors, right? So if I can get it for cheaper, if I was the wholesaler and I decide, you know what, I want to take this one down myself, there we go, right? That's definitely a 10 cap at that point, right? So these are the things that I'm talking about. Like these are ways there's just so many different ways. That's why I love real estate, and just like you're always learning, right? Always learning. Like you're like, I know you guys have heard before how, man, this person bought a house and got paid from it. How did they get money back at the closing table? Well, this is how. It appraised for more, and the bank said, we'll give you 30%, and you only had a $746,620 loan, but there was an extra $34,000, $35,000 in there. Hey, I'm borrowing that. I'm using that money because I'm going to use it to make some additional repairs. Boom. It's like, okay, cool. Right? So things to learn, things to think about. Answer your question, Carla? I can't even remember what your question was, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you pretty much got it. But I just wanted to let you know that this was a great exercise. I really needed it because for the first time ever, I understood the numbers. I was able to follow along. And so now the light bulb came on. So I really appreciate this exercise.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. That's what it's about. Ali, I think you got your hand up.
Yeah, Tommy, real quick. I got a guy who's hit me up to JV with him on 3 properties. The catch of it is 2 of the properties are in not hot zip codes, shall we say, and the other one is in just a random kind of out of the way zip codes. Outside of posting them everywhere I can, how would you approach that as far as trying to find a buyer for those kind of properties?
So my immediate go-to is to look who's already bought in that neighborhood. Okay. So just like I've showed you guys before, go on to pretty much just like you're going to do You're going to pull the comps, right? Type in the address on Zillow. If you have the MLS, obviously use the MLS. I always refer to Zillow because I know most people on here are not realtors, so they don't have access to the MLS. But obviously, if you're a realtor or you have access to the MLS, just use that. It's so much faster and simpler. But if you have access to Zillow, well, everybody does, go on Zillow, type in the address. It'll pull you to that location. Zoom out so you only see like, because you know when you go into Zillow, they show you like the 3D model, like the trees and the house and all that stuff. Zoom out so you can only see the street map. That's typically right around a half-mile radius. And then put in just like you're doing comp, but I would do it out to 12 months instead of 6 months. And then see what's sold within the last 12 months. So click off all the other ones. Click off the red dot, which is for sale. Click off the blue dot, potential sale or potential listing, the purple dot. Click off all those and only have that yellow dot that says recently sold, and see who purchased in that neighborhood within the last 12 months. You're gonna have to weed out who are the homeowners that are living in them versus the investors, right? So if it's a neighborhood where there's a whole bunch of rentals, right? What I would do is maybe put the yellow dot and the red dot on, so you can see if they're overlapping. If they bought in 12 months and they're renting it now, right? It'll be a yellow, you'll be able to see both of them right there. Okay. So that's one. You're still in Kentucky, right? So I know here in Atlanta, you can do a in county. Oh, somebody off mute. Somebody off mute and use some Mucinex, some cough drops. So you're gonna. I know here in Fulton, when you put in the address, if you're looking up for like the property, the tax assessor's office, if you go there, they can look for houses that are sold locally in that area, and they'll pull them for you, and then they'll pull them, and whoever bought them, a lot of times the investors that buy them, they buy them in their company name, and boom, then you got your investors. It's so, like, people ask about buyers, man. It's to me, like, once you really understand, there's so many buyers out there, like it just like the world opens up, right? It just really does. Just drive around in that neighborhood. I guarantee you're going to see, you'll eventually see somebody that's either working on a house, they're actively flipping it, or you might just see a handyman and start talking to the handyman and say, hey, listen, I got this property. Property's going to need some work. Do you know any buyers that buy in this area? Okay. So there's a lot of ways to do that, man. You good? You good? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. My bad. I muted myself. My fault.
No problem. All right. What's the pretty docs? Somebody say something?
Yeah, I got a question.
What's up?
I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, what's up with the Tommy? So,
Yeah,
about a month and a half ago, we had talked about a property that I was looking at. It was a property that was behind in back taxes, and I originally asked you how I was going to raise money. And, you told me not to raise money, basically to find a way to work that price in back taxes into, a way to make it out of a deal so that I wasn't using any of my money. But they just recently passed a law in Illinois, and I live in Illinois, that, you can't wholesale without a license or whatnot.
Correct.
So, yeah, I got all my numbers on the house. I got the ARV of it, and I got all of that, all collected and written down. But since I can't wholesale it now, I was going to ask you, what's another in-game strategy in order to pull it off? Because I was thinking about hard money or private money.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen how you were, doing a little hard money detail.
Yeah.
So, being that I can't wholesale it, what advice would you give me?
Yes, that's a really good question, because people are freaking out over there in Illinois. One or two things. To make it the easiest way, I would start to think about just getting your license. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what that helps you out now, but I would anybody who's in Illinois, I would start to think about getting your license, because then it just goes away. Then you just do business as normal. And now, not only that, because you know this skill, you are the best real estate agent out there, because, bro, like, I can't even tell you how many real estate brokers who have their own brokerage, who have real estate agents working underneath them, have never heard of wholesaling real estate. They've never heard of it. It's crazy, right? So you're going to be ahead of the game if you know how to do that. But to do this, the easiest way to do this is, well, I don't say if it's the easiest, but the one way that you could do it using hard money, you just have to have a really good deal, because you got to understand when you're doing hard money, all those 3 points and percentages, all that stuff takes place. One way is to do it, well, both of them involve double closing. One way is to do it with a hard money lender, which are easier to find. And the other one is to do it with a transactional lender. So a transactional lender is someone who's not like a hard money lender. They know that you are wholesaling the property, right? And they are literally charging you like crazy for you to hold their money for literally somewhere between 24 to 48 hours. That's all you get. They're literally allowing you to hold money so you can purchase the property because you said that you have an end buyer ready to close. So it's something that can be a little frightening, because if you've ever been to a closing that hasn't gone through, you can get all the way to the closing table, right? And it don't close, okay? So, and then you still owe that money. So transactional lending, it's expensive, but it's going to be cheaper in the long run than doing hard money. But in Illinois, you can't wholesale. What they mean is that you can't assign contracts, right? So you can't be in it for no money. But when you do either one of those, you are actually buying the property. So Jalen would be buying the property, and then you can do whatever you want to do after you buy it.
Okay. So yeah, and yeah, just to throw it in, I found out, a solution to that. I actually live like 30 minutes away from St. Louis, which is Missouri.
Bro,
yeah,
St.
I
Louis
can go right over there.
I would rather wholesale in St. Louis than in Chicago.
Right.
St. Louis that's a market. Yeah, hit that for sure. Take that 30-minute ride.
For sure. Appreciate it though, Tom.
Yeah, man. All right, let me see. Did I miss anything in the chat? Yusef said the thermostat went way up. Yeah, it definitely did. 39. What supporting docs would you need to refi a high value property like that? Or what lenders would refi based on property values alone? They're not going to run you just based on property values. Obviously, you have to have decent credit, right? So basically, it's your credit. In this particular case, this is a multifamily. So what is it actually making? They're going to want all those numbers. And then how much is it appraising at? Okay. Banks want to lend money because that's how they make money. Okay. We just got to meet their qualifications. But as far as supporting documents, that is going to be bank specific on what they want you to provide. Most of them are at least going to want to know your credit score. Most of them are going to at least want to know the rent roll, what's being paid, what currently. They're going to want to know the projected rents and supporting documents to show that. They're going to want to know obviously the balances, all the other stuff that is just typical when it comes to getting a loan, whether or not the taxes are paid for, all those things. But they'll give you all that stuff. Yeah, Antronique, yeah. It says, she says, someone keeps telling me to get my license because it's going to be everywhere eventually. You know why? And here's why. This is part of the reason. You guys, most of the people on here know my master plan. If you don't, here's my master plan. My master plan is to do like the Association of Realtors. You guys understand, most people understand that the Association of Realtors, they do not determine whether or not you're a real estate agent. The Association of Realtors, or the Realtor Association, they are essentially a group. It's like real estate agents union, if you will, right? And they say that you have to meet certain standards to call yourself a realtor. So I am a realtor, but you can be a real estate agent and not be a realtor. A realtor is just a standard, right? And then within each state, there are real estate agents, and each state has their own rules on how you become a real estate agent. The problem with wholesaling is that we're making just as much money, if not more money, than real estate agents that had to go to a little school. Like my school was the fast-paced school. It was 2 weeks, right? But it was from like 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night. So the real estate agents, sometimes they get a little pissy because they went to a little school, and they're only making $3,000 on the deal after they pay their real estate broker on the other side, and you're making $10,000, right? And you don't have a license. So a lot of them are pushing for it, right? A lot of them are pushing for it. So my whole plan was to standardize wholesaling as much as possible. You know, I'm not going to have 10,000 people on this course. It'd be nice, but not going to happen. You know, within our own little world, at least we have a standard. The 30-something people that are still on this call, right? At least we're going to be operating at a standard. So if I want to do a deal with Mo, if I want to do a deal with Stan or Sharon or Duke, I know that there's a standard there. Just like a real estate agent from Illinois, even though they don't know who the heck I am, if they were sending me a deal, their cousin was coming to move to Georgia, they were sending me a deal, they know that at least I've passed the test and there's some type of standard. And so the reason why these things are happening, Trinique, is, there's no standard. So we got some unscrupulous wholesalers out there. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're pissing a lot of people off. So unfortunately, I probably think within next 10 years or so, a lot of the states will be forcing people to be real estate agents in order to do wholesaling. So make your money now, make your money now while you can. All right. We've been on for an hour and 28 minutes. Anybody else got any other questions? We are, appreciate that, Mo. We are doing our real estate meetup tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I have no idea what I'm talking about. It'll be interesting. Well, I'll figure out something as I'm walking up on the stage. And yeah, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks. I have a ton of speaking engagements coming up. I don't think any of them are on Wednesdays. Some of them are on Sundays. So actually, I think the one next week is on a Wednesday. Next week, just be prepared. I got to get off immediately at 8 o'clock. I'll probably just going to do a Q&A on next Wednesday because I go on stage at like 8:05. So I have to be off. Like I'm going to be doing the call probably from from some room. And I have to go off and go immediately on stage. And I like to have at least 5 minutes to clear my head so I can remember what the heck I'm supposed to say. You're having surgery. Oh, no, Carla. You're having surgery on Wednesday. Well, hopefully, I know it's going to go well. I just hope for a quick recovery. When are you going to do the subject to class? I keep forgetting that. Subject to class, Mike. Subject to class. Let's try that for this Sunday. Mike, do me a favor, man. Send me a reminder, please. We'll try to knock that out. Subject to classes would not be a good class to do on Wednesday because it's most likely going to run over more than an hour. Address for the meetup is 3400 West Hospital Ave in Chamblee, Georgia. If you go to my Instagram stories, it's in there. Alicia, I will admit, if you ask to be in the group, I'll admit you in there. I'll do it now because I'll forget. And oh man. And my brother just remind me I have to go because I'm supposed to be on the phone with the buyer or property. So let me get out of here. And I appreciate you guys being on. Hopefully, like I said, once this thing gets up, I'll go ahead and put it on. And let's probably watch this thing again a couple of times. Make sure you didn't miss anything. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, be blessed. Take care.
Love, Mom.